Most investors overcomplicate everything. They chase the hot stocks, they time the market, and they wonder why their results are lagging. Today, I'm going to share with you my 3-fund portfolio, 3 simple ETFs. This is outside of my 401k, this is outside of my IRAs, this is simply a taxable brokerage account. Now, the reason I do that, which is an answer to one of my prior videos, is that I want to have a freedom fund, something that I can pull from at any time I need it. And this could be for, let's say I want to retire early. Let's say I want to have some FU money like I talked about in some other videos. Let's say I just want to buy a car with it. This is cash that I have available that I don't have to worry about any governmental regulations such as the IRAs or the 401ks. I don't get hit with penalties or anything like that. Yes, I'm going to get hit with some tax, but at the end of the day, this money is free to me to do whatever I want with it. And that's why I invest primarily in this one. After years of exploring individual stocks and looking at all the different funds, I wanted something that will give me exposure to the entire United States stock market. In fact, I kind of lean a little bit on the total stock market as well as a little bit of the S&P 500, top 500 companies in America. And I've done single stocks before. Sometimes I do little challenges with single stocks, but the thing with that is those stocks can go down dramatically. They can go up and beat the market, but they can also drop dramatically, especially if they go out of business. I'd rather not deal with that. I want to focus on simplicity. I want to, every week when I transfer money in and I invest it, which I do every Friday, by the way, I want to just do this with like a sense of, who cares? It's automated. I'm just doing my thing, because over the long period of time, I'm going to hopefully do very well and get a big return on my money. So here's what we're looking at right now inside my Schwab account. You can see the rate of return sitting at 18%. As opposed to the S&P 500, 15%. Now, I'm not saying I'm a guru. I'm not saying that, look at me, I'm beating the S&P 500. It's just the 3 funds are kind of working together to make this happen. There's going to be days, and I bet there's going to be years that this underperforms the S&P 500. And one of these funds is probably going to be the culprit of it, which you'll understand in just a moment. So let's start with fund number 1 of my freedom portfolio. And that is, no surprise to the financial independence community, VTI. This one is a powerful 50%, yes, 50% of my portfolio. VTI represents the entire U.S. stock market. It holds over 3,000 U.S. companies from Apple to Microsoft down to small caps that you've never heard of. You know, these companies are either going to make it big or remain small companies or go out of business. Who cares? But VTI gives me instant diversification on all these different companies, and it self-cleanses itself. As a company kind of starts underperforming, it reduces the amount that it invests in that company. As a company starts doing very well, it'll focus on that. And that's what helps drive the overall statistic of an average of a 10% return per year. Now, that average is over many, many years. There's going to be years that it outperforms. You're going to get like 20% return or 30% return. And there's going to be years, like I remember like 2018, 2022, those years, this fund did pretty bad. I mean, it was like negative 18%. So remember, you're going to have the negatives, you're going to have the positives. That's why the average is 10%. But 10% return on your money is pretty dang good if you ask me. As long as the American economy is growing, VTI is growing, and that's what we need. Now, if you don't think America is going to grow, we have other problems to worry about, but that's why I do 50% in VTI. Now, in the financial independence community, they do like 100% into VTI or into VTSAX, which is the same thing. It's just the mutual fund version of VTI, but they put all their money into that. Now, I'm a rebel. Call me what you will. I go against the grain in a lot of different things that I do. This could bite me, and in which case, the FI community will laugh at me, and that's okay. But the point is, we got to focus on the fact that we have the ability to do what we want. That's the freedom of life. You may remember Dave Ramsey often talks about you need funds such as growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. Now, I do the top 3. I don't do international at all, but I actually have the top 3. This one is my growth fund. Why don't we move on to growth and income before we get into aggressive growth? Growth and income fund is, no guess, no surprise for those of you who know me and have followed the channel, the dividend fund we all know and all love, SCHD. Now, SCHD gets a lot of crap. I'll link a video in the description below if you want to check out more about this particular fund. But this is my growth and income, my steady state good stability, kind of chill kind of guy, right? That's what the SCHD is all about. Schwab's U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. It focuses on high quality dividend payers with strong fundamentals. That means it's consistently focused on income and smoother returns when growth stocks are swinging wildly. That happened a lot in 2022. Things were all over the place, and SCHD kind of provides you that quarterly dividend, kind of smooths out some of the negative returns. That's the whole point. SCHD kind of stinks when the market's going up. It grows, but it grows at a much lower percentage than VTI and my other ETF that I'm going to reveal. But at the end of the day, I like the idea that this kind of smooth things out when things are going chaotic. All right, let's talk about the aggressive growth. Let's talk about the wild child. Let's talk about the one that I'm really excited about. And I'm going to give you actually two options because you can do either one on this. And if you guys would like to see a video on the difference between these two, let me know in the comments and I can actually do a versus video and do a deep dive on these particular ETF funds. But we're going to talk about the aggressive growth of none other than either QQQM or SCHG. Not to be confused with SCHD. By the way, I want to step back for a second. I only do 10% into SCHD, just so you're aware. So again, 50% VTI, 10% SCHD. In this particular fund, I do 30%, and you can do either or, right? They track large cap growth stocks, and it's a turbo boost. It is focused a lot heavily on tech, a lot heavily on the NASDAQ 100, especially in the case of QQQ. And you can see their top holdings are heavily tech. So my anticipation for the NASDAQ 100, and this is just my own silly thought. I mean, take this for what it's worth, which isn't a whole lot. But I think that, we've been seeing a lot of growth and success with tech. I think the next surge is actually going to be AI. I'm not actually going to say that tech and AI are the same thing, even though some would argue it is. But I think from the sector perspective, we might actually see some lagging tech and some replacement of those tech stocks with more AI stocks. And I think that is where these particular funds could continue to grow dramatically. Right now, this one is actually definitely outperforming SCHD, but outperforming VTI as well. So when I look at the last year, a lot of the reasons that I'm beating the S&P 500 in that graph that I showed you is actually thanks in part to QQQM, because that is my beast, that is my dog, that is pulling it up. Now, same thing with SCHG. In fact, sometimes SCHG, it beats QQQM in certain cases. But the reason I call him the wild child is because when it's up, and you're thinking you're like the best thing ever. You're thinking, man, I got all this money, I can do whatever I want, life is good. But when it's down, you're kind of depressed and you're like wondering, why didn't I just put all this money into VTI or into like a savings account? It's a wild child. It's like being on a roller coaster, but I like the volatility. That's what balances this out and makes this 3-fund portfolio a lot of fun. And over the next couple of years, we're going to track it together. We're going to see how I do. I might make a fool out of myself. I might actually come on here looking like an absolute clown, and all you guys get to laugh at me in the comments. I know you're going to have a good time with that one. You might be like, wait a minute, the math isn't mathing. 50%, 30%, 10%. Where's the other 10%? Well, I actually keep 10% in cash. Why? Because life happens. Unexpected expenses might rise up. Buying opportunities, especially when VTI likes to take a dip sometimes, especially when the political or economic craziness happens. I like to keep some cash just to throw some extra money versus my typical automation that I do every single Friday. So I keep 10% for that kind of stuff, for the peace of mind. And it's easier when you don't have all 100% invested. This is also training me because when I do retire early, I'm not going to be able to touch my 401k. I'm not going to be able to touch my IRA until I'm age 59 and a half. So that's a long time from now. If I want to retire before that, this allows me to start learning how to deal with having cash in the account and letting your investments grow on the back end. That 10% is what I kind of want to live off of in the future. And I'll explain that as we get closer to that period of time. But for now, I do that mainly for the expenses and for some buying opportunity. And because of all of these ETFs are low cost, it keeps all of my money that I do invest compounding and growing over the long period of time. Now, I started this only a year ago because I've been focused on paying off my debt first. Some of you may remember on my old videos, I talk about how I paid off my mortgage, I paid off my car debt, I paid off my student loan debt, got rid of all my debts, and now every single bit of income I get, well over 50% of it goes into this freedom fund. Do you have a favorite fund? Drop it in the comments below. Also, let me know if you have any questions, because you never know, your comment could be featured in one of my next videos, because your questions fuel future videos. Until that time, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out this video next, and we'll see you on the next video.